Final warm-up lap here. You can see the Alpha 4C safety car, little red car down there waiting to intervene if is necessary. As our field sweeps and turns its way around this Moscow Raceway to the grid. And Sangster extending his TC2 Yokohama Trophy lead over Pasquale Di Sabatino with another win here in race 1. And weaving and feeling all sorts of odd sensations, probably from the car as well as from inside his head, is our poleman Hugo Volante. And Harry Folkard, you know, in his garage, they're feeling a little under pressure. And Dushan's garage alongside likewise, but he must be feeling really the most pressure of anyone on the grid, I think. Especially
it would be bad enough if you were starting on pole anyway, as a little experience from starting up there, and let alone when you're starting there known for fine platform cars on the right, when your rear ends all over the place. And, you know, not exactly an enviable position to be in, although he is on pole position. So
yeah, well, better to start at the front than not to start at the front, I guess, is the only good news out of that. Cars coming to the grid. Gianni Morbidelli lines up behind James Thompson. And Hugo Volante, with the bright yellow highlights on his Campos Racing Chevrolet, is the man on pole. Qinghua Ma is the Citroen on the outside of the front row of the grid, or the inside on the run down to turn 1. Green lights are on. And as you watch the pole sitter, great start from the Hondas, and Lopez hasn't moved. Lopez is in the middle of the grid and has not moved. Car did not, it's budged an inch, it's moved about a foot as into second place, and who's facing backwards? That's the Citroen. Big slide from the Citroen, and that is Loeb. Lopez has not moved. Well, that's where his 50-point lead is going to come in handy, because that's a 0 waiting to happen right there. Muller and Loeb are side by side. Chilton got by, stayed in front of them. Morbidelli or Munich is right there. And it is Hugo Volante who leads the race. Now for Muller and Loeb, absolutely nailed on necessity to get maximum points they can out of this race, because for the first time this year, as we head into the final 12 races, this is the first of the 12 races that will round out the championship. 11th race of the first half of the league. We're just getting to the halfway point. Lopez is going to score his first 0. On board with James Thompson. He was there behind Mikko Kozlowski in 13th place. Tom Chilton in front of Loeb, who's in front of Muller. Drama there. Volante leads. Mikulic second. Qinghua Ma of China in third. Morbidelli up the inside of Huff. Bumping and boring.
Kozlowski, I think, was it?
Yeah, Huff was held up by Kozlowski because Mikkel got by Rob at the start. Oh, and contact. Kozlowski, his car damaged, and Tomo, of course, with the luck he's having this year, is the man who gets caught out. Well, Ma down the inside of Mikulic into the final corner. That's for second place.
Good move.
Yeah.
Mikulic's back at the inside there, maybe just a little bit too late for more on the brakes, but still a fantastic effort.
Bonani third, trailing a bit of bodywork. Montero fourth, Tarquini fifth, and Ma sits around the outside, still there. Norby's got the line into 2. Great racing from Qinghua Ma. I'm going to be entertained by this boy at Spa, I think. Dusan Borkovic is on the track. He's the last man running. You watch the screen. I'm looking down to Citroen to see where Jose Maria Lopez's car has got to. Is he on track? I don't see him on our timing screen. He is in the pit lane with Alex. Tom Chilton currently lying in 7th, which makes Loeb in 8th, Muller in 9th, and under pressure from Coronel. This is not what Loeb and Muller need with Lopez out of the frame. They might score 1 or 2 points. Harry, they don't need 1 or 2, they need 25 or 18 or 15.
They do, and it's... They've had a bit of a rub of the green for a change in this one, and like you say, it's going to be pretty unlucky. Drive through for car number 7.
And that is our race leader, Hugo Valenti. A wheel not fitted on the 5-minute board, so his chance of winning this race is over. A drive-through penalty. They didn't have the wheels on time, and that's an absolute disaster for the team, because Valente is driving away at the front of this race. Right, the car might not last, it might not handle well, but he's leading now. He's going to have to come into the pit lane.
Well, that is a real shame, but it does open the door for Mount to take a win in this first race.
And that's another car that is taking points away from Loeb and Muller that is going to be ruled out this time, because the team, although they got the car fixed, didn't have the wheels and tyres back saw being pointed to on the grid rather than the damaged left rear bodywork.
Yeah, very possibly.
I'm hearing from the pit lane from Alex Legui that the gearbox did not work. So it wasn't the fact that Lopez made a bad start, it's the fact that the gearbox didn't play the game when he came calling for a gear.
That is one of the things we've heard this year. The cars are right on the edge with their gearboxes because they're running the same gearbox as they ran last year with an extra chunk of horsepower, and obviously they're doing 2 standing starts now, so the transmission's getting a lot more abuse than they're used to. So I think we already saw a transmission failure for Rob Huff yesterday through practice, so maybe something for the future. Well,
Pachito can laugh it off, but down at the back, in 10th place on the grid, watch right in the middle, he does not move at all. Great start in the front of the picture though from Valenti. Watch the yellow car, covers off Mar, like the Citroen drivers around him, not getting the greatest start. Good hook up there from Norby. Norbert Mikulec in the black and red Zengo Motorsport car. That's where Huffy got held up a little bit. Kozlowski got onto his tail. Looks like Kozlowski got inside. Huff in the first corner. There was a Citroen sideways. It was Muller. It never rains, it pours. Lopez doesn't move. Muller gets tagged sideways, loses 3-4 places in the 5 places in the first corner.
Yeah, I think, was that Benani, I think, who caught him? I think it is.
It might be. Benani's car was trailing a little bit on the right front corner. You know, the problem is you've got 22 cars going into one corner together. Mar again up the inside of Norby, and again counter-attack from Norby comes through.
Mar's outbreaking himself every time he makes that move, but it's going to unsettle Norby because he has to watch his mirror. He can't risk making a mistake and Mar running on the side of him.
Well, Mar is sending it down the inside, and a big moment for Loeb. He just out wide. Coronel's coming through. Coronel on the inside. And Loeb can't get the door shut. Coronel's got his foot in like a door-to-door salesman, and through he goes. No chance at all there. And again, the Citroen getting away from a driver of the quality of Sebastian Loeb. The car is that much on the edge, it's getting away from Loeb.
Yeah, it is, and it's looked Larry all weekend, hasn't it? I wonder whether they've made some adjustments after the first race to make it last a little bit longer into the race, and perhaps it's a step too far early on in the race.
I'll tell you what, Morbidelli is coming calling as well. Mar has got the best handling Citroen, at least visually there. Look at this. Behind Muller, Loeb goes out wide, and it's not just that he's going further around the corner, you're also losing traction there. When you bump over the curb, the wheels snatch and spin, it backs the engine off, and then when you're on the loose on the outside, it also backs the engine off, you lose traction.
Yeah, and he's had it, what happens, he's gone a little bit sideways. Already you're losing maybe 2-3 metres of where you should be on the line, and you're in the dirt, which pushes you wide, you can't get on the throttle. It's a combination of a lot of things, but it costs you a lot of time.
I'll tell you what, with Hugo Volante coiling off into the pit lane, as he's going to have to do soon. He's already done 2 laps since he was handed a drive-through. He's got to come in next time. Norbert Mikulec and Mar Quinghar battling for the lead of the race effectively. Mar again up the inside, and again Norby fights back. And right behind now, Mehdi Binani, Thiago Montero, Gabriele Tarquini. So you've got Mar in a Citroen and 4 Hondas, and Norby again holds on, but every time he gets further and further into the corner, the 2 Castrol Hondas wheel to wheel. Tarquini inside Thiago, he wants to set after Benani, but that allows Chilton in, and that's going to allow Muller into the battle as well. Montero runs up the back of Chilton, so Chilton got through, big sideways moment. Whoa, big impact into turn 3, and Chilton loses a hatful of places.
I'd be surprised to see Montero get away with that. It was intentional or not, it was a big hit. Oh, he's not having any luck with Tom, is he?
Well, Gianni Morbidelli might be seeing the stewards as well afterwards, because there's no question he just thumped Chilton offline. Mikulec, our de facto race leader, Hugo Volante, has completed 4 laps. He got the drive-through penalty notified, I think, on lap 2, so he's got to go in.
It's just a tiny little touch, but it was all it took.
It gets more and more sideways. They're on the brakes all the way to here when they can get onto the gas, chase it again, and so the car's just getting away, and he can't get on the throttle because it's not going to make it around the corner. If he does, he'll just go off late around the corner. Whoa, Morbidelli and Loeb. Loeb having a go at Gianni Morbidelli.
You can tell it's race 2. Right. Not a lot of car preservation going on out there, is there?
Yeah, never a truer word, Harry, never a truer word. Valente is going to get a black flag. This is his third lap after the notification of the penalty. If he doesn't come in next time round, absolutely guaranteed he'll be flagged out of the race, surely. I don't think the penalty's been rescinded. Whoa, and Banani is off. Damage on that right front corner. It was him, I'm sure, that tagged Muller. So I don't think Muller will worry too much about being polite as he comes through. Castrol Honda's a bye, and here comes Muller. Is he going to get them all in one go? Contact with Tarquini and Montero. Or at least with Montero, and Muller has gone by both Hondas in one go. And that, remember we said at the beginning, Muller, dangerous when cornered. That is him going, right, out the way, I'm coming through. Door was open, in fairness. There was a bit of contact, but he didn't force them offline.
This is what we were saying, you can never write Muller off. This is why he's been world champion so many times. He can come from so far back in the grid, and he does it, moves, but the deciding is to pass 3 cars, and the little opportunities which he doesn't miss out on.
Well, he started 5th, he is now back up into 5th, but Valente is going to have to do a drive-through penalty, which will make Muller 4th. He's got a rookie teammate right in front of him, Moir, and so he's got to get by Gabriele Tarquini and get into Mar. That's a guaranteed pass. He could win this race.
Yeah, I mean, Muller dropped back to maybe 8th at the start, so
I think he's nearly 10th after the first lap. Oh, in contact, Morbidelli and Loeb again. Great work in the truck, swapping from the looking back on board to the looking forward on board at the moment of contact. Again, the de facto battle for the lead. Valente is in pit road, so this is going to be for the lead. And there is Tarquini. I thought he'd vanished. Tarquini is out. Valente is on pit road, and Mar has taken the lead. Now, Muller has got to get to the number 33 Citroen, and he will win the race. But he's got to get there in contact further back. Coronel sweeping... no, it wasn't. It was Lowe getting by Morbidelli. It was Morbidelli sweeping out very wide.
Well, there's going to be some totals to, I think, after this. That looked like contact in a straight line now.
I'll tell you what, mate, no matter how long it takes to get back to Moscow Airport, we'll be there before the stewards have left the building. Great pass by Mar, and Morbidelli trying to come back. Loeb going, I'm having that line. Tom Chilton right there as well. So, Qinghua Ma, first race weekend for Citroen, leading the race. And you know what's going to come, don't you? If Muller, who is 4th, gets by Mikulits, and Muller, who's 3rd, gets by Mikulits, Ma will not win. Gianni Morbidelli and Tom Chilton battling hard, the 2 Citroens, the 2 Chevrolets rather. This is for 8th place. Morbidelli more black than white. And Chilton dragging the tail. Tarquini is out. He was going very slowly. He carried on past the pits for reasons I don't quite understand, but he is definitely out. So, Valente has served his drive-through. Qinghua Ma is leading for Citroen. Norbert Mikulits is 2nd in a Honda. Ivan Muller is 3rd for Citroen. You don't have to be Brain of Britain to understand that Ma, Ivan is faster than you. Do you understand? He's going to, at some stage, crackle over that radio.
Yeah, I think so. Valente, he had a big advantage there. I mean, it's a crying shame because look where he's rejoined in the pack. He's right back in there. And if you look at his fastest lap,
in 11th place.
He had the fastest lap of the race. Obviously, he's had clear air, but he was scampering off into distance there with that damaged car. You can actually visibly see the rear wheels on the front end while it's going down the straight. So, crying shame for him.
Hey, listen, in free practice, you park it. In a race, you just drive it. You just get on with it. You know, as I always say, the back is specifically for holding the exhaust off the ground. It doesn't do very much. Of course, if it's hindering you, anybody who's ever ridden a motorcycle knows that if your pillion passenger is leaning in the wrong direction, it's a nightmare, and that's the sort of effect that he's got on that Chevy at the moment. The back end with a mind of its own. He'll be a bit dialed into it. It'll probably turn one way very nicely, and the other way, lurid oversteer, but... Well, Lopez now knows what's going to happen, doesn't he? His eyes are not on Qinghua Ma, the race leader, like everybody else. They're on the man we ride on board with. This is the battle. Well, it is the second. Effectively, it's the battle to win the race. Either Ma wins or Muller gets by Mikulits, in which case, surely Muller wins. Even on the last lap, there will be a pass.
Difficult decision to be made from Citroen, though, isn't it? You know, you've got the young Chinese guy.
No brainer. No brainer. In China, I give you that. That would be a tougher decision. Still a no-brainer, because he's not a championship contender, and Muller might be.
But it's a fantastic story, isn't it? You've got the Chinese guy in his first race. He's he takes it to everybody and wins. It's a perfect marketing story, which is at the end of the day what they're here for.
Oh, here comes Muller. He's down the inside of Norbert Mikelic. He's alongside. He controls the corner. Can he control it under braking? If he gets by, Norby is not going to come back at him on pace. Montero's right behind. Norby's dragging a bumper. Muller is second. Muller's going to win.
Yeah, good clean move there.
1 lap to get away from Norby, 2 laps to get securely away from Norby. Norby's going to be duffed up by Montero, because Montero wants to be on the podium. But Bernani is further behind. Loeb's not a factor anymore. Now it is how far Muller can get away from the Hondas before they start reining in Ma and the change happens. It must. I'll be astonished if it doesn't, because if it doesn't, they are committing Muller even deeper to not winning the championship. It's not that they're stopping Ma from having a chance, it's that they're taking away a lifeline for Muller.
Yeah, true.
You know, and for the fact that your #1 point scorer is so far ahead doesn't mean that he'll continue to be so far ahead. If this is motor racing, it's by no means... He could fall off a mountain bike and break his leg and not race again all year. And then what have you done?
Yeah.
Then you've artificially changed the battle. I mean, they're going to artificially change the battle between Muller and Loeb anyway, but they can't avoid that because Loeb's not far forward enough to capitalise, and Muller is. No,
perhaps you're right, actually. They have to back the team, don't they, and the team effort for the championship, which is, you know, Muller and Lopez at this moment, and Loeb obviously as well, but in this particular instance it's for Muller.
Well, as far as manufacturers' points go, of course, it doesn't matter what name's on the door as long as the name on the chassis plate says Citroen. So Ma will score as many points for Citroen as Muller might if the positions aren't reversed. However, it is in the driver's standings. I mean, they might take the issue that they don't want to artificially change the battle between Muller and Loeb. Fate has given Muller more points than Loeb. Maybe the pit wall shouldn't give him even more. I don't know. Time will tell. This is going to be an interesting conversation somewhere within the realms and the powers that be at Citroen.
And where does that stand within the regulations as well? You know, it's difficult to just fall back to that amount of space that he's managed to...
Well, you know, Mars not raced here before. He's not used to the car. Although he's done some simulator work, he's not used to the way that the tyres wear here. You know, he could have overcooked his tyres, building up his lead, chasing Valenti. You know, he's been very aggressive to get by Norbert Mikelic. Maybe his tyres might have gone off a lot more than Muller's. You know, there's all sorts of explanations for things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't want to burn his turbo out on this one-off event. No, turn it down to turbo level 1. Yeah.
Right behind, we then have the all-Honda battle for the final podium spot. Mikelic, the black car. Montero, red, white and green. Behind Montero, another red, white and green car, Mehdi Bernani. Then Tom Coronel and Sebastian Loeb. And Loeb again, spending a whole race up behind his Chevy.
It's very encouraging that the Chevy and the Hondas do seem to be taking steps forwards now, and you know, they've also got the extra 20 kilos on this weekend, so they are lighter, but they're not massively lighter like they have been in previous rounds. So it is quite encouraging for the future.
Now, what will be entertaining is to see how the balance of weight shifts when we go to Spa, with this race weekend taken into consideration, because the Hondas and Chevrolets again are closer to the speed of the Citroens in terms of ultimate lap time, apart from Lopez in qualifying. So we might see that actually more weight goes on to the Honda and the Chevrolet. Sounds like Gabriele Tarquini's power steering packed up, not really something that you can do without, actually, because these cars, now with all the downforce and the big fat tyres, Harry, take a lot out of the steering.
They do, and obviously if you're steering the power steering lap without the power, then it's not just like steering a normal car without power steering, it's, you know, it's 10 times as hard.
Rob Huff had a gearbox problem in qualifying. He is on pit road. I'm not putting 2 and 2 together, but what it does do is put Dusan Borkovic up into 12th place. 2 spots away from points, having started from the pit road. So Borkovic has got plenty to battle for in the last 5 laps. Quinquan Ma, our race leader. This is the battle for third. Muller, incidentally, is 3 seconds clear of the Hondas, and he's 3 seconds behind Ma, so he's halved the gap to Ma already in 3 laps.
Yeah.
Sebastian Loeb still making no progress behind Tom Coronel.
This is where we've always thought this, haven't we, that it's going to take a little while for Loeb. Although he's pretty much there on ultimate lap pace, it's going to take a little while to get that racecraft of racing in the top-level touring car level and understanding what's acceptable contact, what's not, and how where you need to put your car and where you don't put your car.
And also disguising the unacceptable contact. And there was a great little clip that Citroen did before the season started with Yvonne Muller as a school teacher teaching Sebastian Loeb about the rules. She said, so you can hit? No, you can't hit. So how do you get by? You push them out of the way. So you can hit? No, you can't hit. And Loeb just looked perpetually confused, as he would. Dusan Borkovic gets by James Thompson. Borkovic now in 12th place. And power steering problems for Rob Huff. Meanwhile, the battle for third comes down the straight. Mikulits in the black car, tracking left to right. Montero right behind him, still pushing to get back onto the podium. Thiago Montero's had a good run of podium successes. He had 2 podiums in Salzburg Ring.
Benani's still right up there as well. You know, it shows that, you know, he's, as we said before the start of the race, Benani's found a good turn of speed in that Honda. Oh no, Montero's pulled off.
Montero's pulled off. Now, if one car has had an issue, maybe that's the problem with the other one. He stopped dramatically, and that moves... Oh! No, not Loeb's. Loeb's got by Chilton as well, so Loeb has picked up 2 spots. No, he was in front of Chilton. He wasn't behind Coronel, so... Thiago suddenly stops dead. Luckily, they were on the outside going round him. He pulled immediately to the right.
It looked like, you know, he totally lost drive, maybe gearbox again perhaps, or drive shaft.
Well, now then, I wonder how that affects the balance for the Castrol Honda cars in terms of weight. Of course, it's not about one team, it's about the chassis. So 2 Hondas still in 3rd and 4th means still 2 Hondas setting quick lap times to stay away from Tom Coronel there in 5th place.
I bet Norby's a little bit relieved to see that as well, because it looked like Montero was going to take that position sooner or later.
Yeah. Well, Mark Wingha, the race leader, and he is still lapping at least as quick as Yvonne Muller in 2nd. Looking back from Gianni Morbidelli to our pole man here in race 2 in Moscow, Hugo Valente. This is the battle for 9th place. In fact, what will be the battle for 8th place. And Valente all over the back of him, was leading the race from pole position, Harry. What a heartbreaker for the team, the damage in race 1. They managed to get it fixed, welded up the rear suspension mounts, and then they didn't have the tyres back on the car in time before the 5-minute board on the grid. Nevertheless, he is just racing like a game, like we said at the beginning. Drive it like you stole it. That's exactly what he's doing.
Morbidelli's getting his fair share of contact as well, isn't he? It's not necessarily just in addition without.
No, that was the first time he's taken it, though, I think. He's definitely been jabbing with the left. That was the first time he's taken a body blow. It wasn't much of one either, just a little touch from behind. And right behind him, you see the other Munich Motorsport car, René Munich. So there's Thiago. He's pulled off at the side of the road as well. And the way he dramatically pulled off, that was not something I think that he saw coming. So now, our race leader, Wing-Hua Ma, 12 laps into the race. This is lap 13 of 16. Last lap for him, 141.38. Last lap for Muller, 141.30. 0.08 of a second. Muller's not going to catch him at that speed. It is going to have to require Ma to slow down.
Yeah.
Now they're 3 seconds apart, but 6 seconds ahead of Norbert Mikulits, and a frenetic battle for third. They've got the cushion. Look, that's the gap. Back to the next possible challenger, which is Mikulits, the black car, in third. So they've got all the time in the world for Ma to slow down and just tuck in behind Muller for a nice 1-2 formation finish.
Yeah, I wonder, it must be very difficult for them to make the decision, but they have got to look out for the team interest, haven't they?
Ma, half a second slower than Muller on that lap. He was 0.08 faster than Muller on the previous lap. Gianni Morbidelli in the 10, and right behind him, Hugo Valente in the 7 Chevrolet. This is the battle now for 8th position. Gap's gone down from over 3 to 2.5 seconds between our race-leading duo of Citroens.
I really hope that they don't do that. I hope they don't pull them out the way to let Muller go through. But, you know, I suspect you're right, but it would be a bit bit contrived and a bit wrong in my opinion. I can see exactly why they would do it, but...
Well, in the lead up to Le Mans 24 hours, team orders are starting to become more relevant, perhaps. Mehdi Benani still just in front of Tom Coronel. This is Mikulic third, the black car, then Benani still fourth, Coronel fifth, Loeb sixth, Chilton seventh on the back of that group in Chevy number 3. Looking back from Sebastian Loeb, sixth position. Well, better than no points advantage over Jose Maria Lopez, but not as much as Ivan Muller, who'd get 18 for second place, or 25 if he won it, and that would halve the gap back. Remember, after the disappointment of Marrakesh, Muller went 30 points behind the leader into Paul Ricard, and came away from Paul Ricard just 11 points behind. He's bounced back once, and he could well do it again. Gap down to 1.5. Muller a second quicker. Qinghua Ma has overused his tyres.
Yeah, I think so.
And Muller is closing in.
Tyres are obviously definitely gone off.
Well, we saw from the first race weekend in Marrakesh, Citroën have absolutely no compunction about imposing team orders on all their drivers, or some of their drivers, and I don't doubt that by the time we get to the end of lap 16, a lap and a half from now, they've got 8 seconds over the third place battle, which is getting slower and slower as Mikulic gets more and more defensive against Benani and Coronel. If it doesn't happen, I will be staggered. If Muller doesn't win here, I think I'll be more staggered than him.
Yeah.
There's the Lada pit wall, watching the action. And with Kozlowski pulling off and Huff pulling off, Thompson is in 12th place. He is the sole Lada remaining. And there is Muller, no longer 3 seconds away from Qinghua. Ivan is now, well, he started lap 1.5 back, and I doubt that he is more than 6/10 behind. And now what's happened? Norby has made a mistake. Through has gone Benani, through has gone Coronel, but no gain for Loeb. Yep, pitches it in sideways, back end steps out. That's the first time we've seen a Honda lose its rear end all weekend.
It is. It's a shame as well, after having such a hard fight to stay there as well all race long.
Yep. Car got the better of him, and that puts Benani on the podium. Coronel's right behind him. Citroëns have started the last lap, and they are 9/10 apart. And Loeb's trying to go the long way around the outside. We know that the car will survive a biff if it gets one. He just loses traction, though, and that's the difference. He can't lunge inside Mikulic from there. Loeb's still in 6th place, and still it's better than a 0, but Ma and Muller less than a second apart. And again, Muller on that lap, well, Ma did a 41.8, Muller a 41.2. That's where that 6/10 of a difference, of a second difference vanished to. Ma might be fatigued. He hasn't raced for over 18 months, a season and a half out of a race car, so physically he may not be absolutely the perfect specimen. However, we'll have to wait and see if the pass happens, where and how it happens.
Yeah, the truth of this whole situation is going to be how the pass happens, I guess, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. You don't have to be a genius with the brain of Machiavelli to work out that there is a very good chance that Ivan Muller will win this race. Sebastian Loeb can't, from 6th place, stuck up behind the Honda of Norbert Mikulic. Mehdi Benani looks like he might take 3rd, but Tom Coronel was right inside him there. Coronel's going to have to hurl it up the inside motorbike style, just like he did in race 1 to get by Norbert Mikulic, because he knows that might work. And it's going to be a last corner sort out. In front of this, by over 10 seconds, is our lead battle. So while the battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th races on, and Loeb gets alongside Mikulic, and Loeb is going to make the pass into the final corner, come the 2 Citroëns, and as you watch the screen, across the line to win the race. No, Ma is slowing right down, and Muller is slowing right down behind him. They crawl across the line 1st and 2nd, and it is going to be Benani that takes 3rd ahead of Coronel. Loeb gets through. A little bit of contact, but a drag race to the line. Mikulic is off the track, and that makes Loeb 5th place, subject to, and yeah, blah, 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 usual codicils apply. So, 1-2, Qinghua Ma slowed dramatically down the pit straight, and Muller slowed up behind him.
Yeah, I wonder if that was Muller saying, no, you deserve that, have it.
Well, even more hats off to Ivan Muller, because he could have outraced, I'm sure he could have outraced Ma to the line.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Good result as well. It shouldn't be contrived, and Ma deserves that. You know, he's driven perfectly from the start. He had a good battle to get past Norbert and did the job, and yeah, he thoroughly deserves that.
And look, Sitchin still got a 1-2 result out of it.
Yeah, and Muller does need the win, but he doesn't really need the win. His nearest rival's got a 0, so.
And there is Franz Engstler, comes across the line in 13th place overall to win the TC2 class, comfortably ahead of Pasquale Di Sabatino. So it's another Engstler Motorsport 1-2 in the TC2 category. First World Touring Car Championship race.
Banani's going nuts down there.
Maybe Banani. Well, you know, he's been on the podium a couple of times before, and he's yet to win. He's been so close a couple of times in the BMW before to winning a race. But he says, you know, for a guy like me from Morocco, to be on the podium in this World Championship, he said, that's like winning an Olympic gold medal for me.
Look how soft the roof is on that season.
Queen Hua Ma. Now, Harry, you raised a very valid point a moment or two ago off air. What was it?
Yeah, it is. When a Chinese driver has ever won a world championship event before, I'm not 100% sure they have in the FIA level.
I think you have absolutely hit the nail on the head. I can't think. World Touring Car Championship, no. World Endurance Championship. Outright win, no, as far as I'm aware. World Rally Championship, no, outright win. I think you have absolutely hit the nail on the head. He's the first Chinese driver, as far as I can tell, in history to win an FIA World Championship event. And Ivan Muller possibly recognised that, or recognised that actually it would be incredibly unfair and cruel to take the win away from Ma. However, as Hugo Valente knows, motor racing can be incredibly unfair and cruel, but we have a Chinese winner. So for all of my predictions of possible outcomes of this race, maybe again looking for the greater prize, Sitchin thought it would be better for Sitchin in China for the Chinese driver to win the race.
Yeah, but the way they both backed off of the line, I wonder whether Sitchin thought it would be better if Muller won, and then perhaps Muller thought it would be better for Ma to win. And whatever it was, he drove perfectly, and what a great effort. He fully deserves that. I think we're about to hear from him now.
Qinghua Ma, the first Chinese man ever to win the World Touring Car Championship, and he did it here in Moscow. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Well, really good. I think it's a very tough weekend for me because I missed several race weekend than the other of the drivers, also for my mechanical team. But we are working really hard. And after yesterday, I think we found a good solution. So today we done a really good job, and I feel really proud of my team for Sitchin, and really happy. Yeah, thank you for all of you.
So the race result determined there as Qinghua Ma passed Norbert Mikulits for what was then second, although the leader was already on pit road at that stage to serve a drive-through penalty. So Hugo Valente does not get to win it, but Qinghua Ma does. And maybe for Sitchin, that is an even bigger and more important story than Ivan Muller ending up as the World Touring Car Champion, because we know, they know, a Sitchin driver will be the World Touring Car Champion. And actually, maybe the big story here for Sitchin in the Chinese market is Ma winning the race and becoming the first man in history to win an FIA World Championship race.
Yeah, I think we must have looked at that bigger picture and thought, you know, Muller, it will go down the line between Muller and Lopez, I think, and you know that Ma might not have the situation again where he starts pole and drives so well all throughout the race and has a fantastic opportunity. So I wonder how many calls are going backwards and forwards to their marketing department and seeing what exactly they should be doing.
Yes, that's quite possible.
Congratulations once again, winner again here in Moscow. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's really a perfect weekend. We did pole position, fastest lap, 2 victories. What can be better? Thanks a lot to my guys, to my staff. He did such a great job. My car is perfect. And now we make a party, eh? All together. Here, come to Moscow. Yeah.
We're all coming.
So congratulations to Frank Sengster, double race winning weekend in the Liqui Team BMW. Qing Hua Ma, our race winner. Ivan Muller in second place. Mehdi Benani in third spot. Well, Qing Hua Ma leading for the final just under half of the race after he got by Norbert Mikelic. Mikelic in the end fading down to 7th position. They kind of all stampeded over him in the end. So 1-2 for Citroën and Mehdi Benani. Possibly the biggest smile on the podium, I think, will come from the Moroccan driver in third place. Castrol Honda, though, a weekend that looked almost as if it might start with a 1-2 on the grid, ends up with neither car finishing the race. It's a cruel old mistress, motor racing, Harry.
It is, isn't it? It's the same old story, the highs and the lows of motorsport. The highs are way up there in the clouds and the lows are way down there near hell. So it's just how it rolls, isn't it, sometimes? And, you know, Honda, it's really impressed me this weekend how much Honda have come on, and they're really, early in the season, they looked like they were struggling a lot against the Citroëns and the Chevrolets, but they certainly seem to have raised their game and brought some additional updates or whatever they've done to make them on the pace here in Russia.
Well, the first 0 for Jose Maria Lopez means that he is now less than a full race weekend ahead of Ivan Muller and Sebastian Loeb. They are now less than 50 points behind, but considerably more than 40 points behind, the two of them. So Lopez, with that first failure, all those early season points, Harry, you can't beat getting a good start in a drag race, can you? You know, then it allows the others to come, and you've still got an advantage. So let's get ready to receive our very happy podium finishers. There'll be 3 very big smiling faces there. And the first on to the podium, in third position from Morocco, Mehdi Benani. And again, single car entry, you know, little family unit pro team, change from BMWs, as Benani has, to the Honda, learning all this new stuff. A podium result for him is a massive, massive victory. Ivan Muller in second place, well, takes 18 points away from the lead of Jose Maria Lopez. And I think he is pretty content with his day, because Qing Hua Ma from China, on his first race weekend, stands on the top step of the podium. For the first time in an FIA World Championship race, a Chinese driver has won. Citroën, the winning constructor. A double race winner here, and getting ready to party like it's 1999 when he was only in his 40s. Franz Engstler wins the Yokohama Trophy. And now the anthem of our winning driver from China, Qing Hua Ma.
And now
the anthem of our winning constructor, Citroën.
Citroën.
A lot of very happy faces down there in the Total Citroën Racing camp. A 1-2 for the team, one car retired. And in 5th place, Sebastian Loeb. Jose Maria Lopez not scoring here as his car retired on the grid. Mehdi Benani, Harry Fokker, massive smile on the podium is a massive, massive achievement for these guys every time it happens.
Yeah, the small little teams like that, it's a big deal, isn't it?
Well, you know, you've got 4 Citroëns. Never mind anybody, you've got 4 Citroëns, factory cars with top quality drivers, and you're 3rd. The Lukoil Motorsports director, Yevgeny Malinkovsky, presents the trophy to a driver that he sponsored last year, of course, Ivan Muller. And Ma Qinghua receives the trophy as our race winner. And the first Chinese-born driver to win an FIA World Championship race. The circuit director hands the winning manufacturer's trophy to today's lucky recipient from the Citroën team. And Tankler takes his 2nd Yokohama Trophy prize of the day. Yokohama with a big presence here at the track, Harry. They're all over the place. They clearly are one of the major supporters of Moscow Raceway.
Yeah, plenty of advertising everywhere and promotional staff around.
Of course, major supporters of the World Touring Car Championship for a very long while. They supply the control tower, but they put an awful lot of time and effort and work into it as well. It's not just the championship is supplied by the manufacturer. They really work hand in glove with all these teams. Oh, Bob Constantine should be sending the invoice in for that one. Champagne as they get busy with the fizzy. A historic day for Chinese motorsport. As a race winner, Qinghua Ma will head next with the World Touring Car Championship circus to the awesome majesty of Spa-Francorchamps. Ivan Muller doesn't look too unhappy with his day's work. I think he's happy with the way race 2 finished.